And this is all there is still. It's still all there is.
Tony, could you please say something about compassion?
Oh, and what you talk?
Compassion, compassion towards what?
Nothing. No, the only, if you call it compassion, it's a confusing word. But the only real compassion there is that which destroys the illusion which imprisons people. It's not, I think in the story, compassion is being kind and helping people. But a lot of that actually is a sort of feedback thing. Well, me acts in the world to please itself. So one of the things that pleases to me is to help other people. I help other people. The only compassion there is that which destroys the illusion of separation. Well, it doesn't destroy it, but the communication that comes out can deconstruct the illusion of there being the me.
So this, a butterfly mind and madness in your head is just what happens apparently, and no significance, doesn't matter anything.
Nothing matters.
And it belongs to the me.
Right.
Only it's the me's.
The me, everything matters for the me. Everything matters.
Everything matters to the me, but
most things matter for the me.
Most things matter to the me. Yeah.
Because the me dreams that it's very important. I am very important. I'm very special. I'd like to be more special.
Yes.
What I do has an effect on how special I am or how important I am.
Yeah. Much resonance. So, yeah. When that me has dissolved, apparently, would this person, the personality, the apparent one, which is not their real, I mean...
No, the personality, for me, the personality, my idea of the personality dies with the me.
Yeah, but would it still step into the same traps? Does it still happen?
No, there isn't anything left. There's no, when the me is no more, or the illusion of me is no more, there's nothing left but everything. There isn't a thing that is there anymore. There isn't the something left.
But there is a conditioning of that person.
Well, the brain picks up conditioning, and that may continue afterwards.
Yes.
But it's not continuing for anyone.
Right.
It just is a brain condition.
But still it might be stepping into the old traps. I mean,
it could be, but so what?
So what? Ah, yes, it could be so. But so what? You know, still being so blue-eyed.
Are you chatting me up?
Thank you.
Not quite hopeful,
So when and how happened your shift?
Sorry, when and how?
Happened your shift, or
oh, well,
actually
a long time ago, but it's not very relevant. Really. When? It didn't actually happen. The shift doesn't happen.
So it was step-by-step evolution?
No.
Just one occasion?
Boom. There is someone and time, and then there's something.
And didn't you think you become crazy, or?
No. I was crazy before.
So, no more details.
Sorry?
No more details.
Details?
Yes.
No. Do you want details?
20, 30, 40,
No.
just yesterday. Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
We doesn't want to be here. I don't want to be here. I want to be in the resonance, but I don't want to be. It's like a prison.
No. Absolutely.
It's a hell.
Oh, well, yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it doesn't know where to go, so it doesn't want to be here, but it also doesn't want to die. It thinks it does, but it doesn't really know what that means.
And after glimpses, why there's so depression?
Sorry, why?
After glimpses, there's such a depressing feeling.
Yeah, it can be, yeah. A glimpse can be a curse, really, because there's nothing else like it. And you know that where you are now is nothing like that. So it can be depressing.
What's a curse?
A curse is like...
The glimpse is a curse. Vloeg. Yeah, I know, vloeg.
It's like a gluk.
A gluk.
And is part of the curse also that there is attachment to the glimpse? Attachment?
Attachment?
To the glimpse, to have it again?
Oh yeah, well, me is attached anyway. Me is totally in attachment with everything, including the glimpse, which it wasn't there at the time, but it knows that was really nice. And so it wants that to happen again. Because it feels it'll happen to it, because it never will. But, you know, the self is the greatest addiction there is, more than drinking or smoking. It's an addiction. It can't be, that the me can't be free from.
What if it never happens in this life?
Oh, well, it doesn't matter. It's hard luck.
It's a normal for everyone.
Well, except that,
you are here, but
I
I'm
know,
in the city, you know?
it's good for, you could say that for most people it doesn't seem to happen, but it does when they die.
Sure.
When the person that is still is in the dream of me, when the body dies, the dream of me dies with it. So Everybody becomes liberated.
Yes.
Just they're not around when it happens. But they aren't in the living body either, so.
That feeling of guilt or shame is the same, eh?
It's all illusory, yeah. There's nothing to be guilty or ashamed of.
No, but
there isn't anybody.
No, but that feeling, could it be?
It's a feeling that feels very real to the me.
Yeah. That is an energetic feeling?
Yeah. Usually. It's obviously also supported by the idea of doing wrong. Yeah. Which again is erroneous, but the idea that I shouldn't have done that, the idea that the intellectual idea or conceptual idea I shouldn't have done that also brings a feeling in the body of guilt. Makes you go red. Do you ever feel that?
Red?
Blush? Well, you blush. Yeah,
oh yeah. And that is because of the separation. Because of
it's simply a symptom. Everything that comes out of separation is a symptom of separation, guilt, fear, all of those sort of things. In that way, personal fear I'm talking about, fear can still arise after, when there is no one. But it's just an animal brain, it's a brain reaction to anything that's happening. But so a protection of the body. But there can be a lot of other things that arise in the separate dream which don't have to arise, like jealousy and those sort of things. Fear, jealousy. Well, anger can arise as well after the me is no more. But it's just a response out of nothing. It's the brain assimilates and anger can arise out of a situation. But there isn't anybody that's in it. Another thing that's happening.
Could you say anything about happiness? When the me has a feeling of happiness, it appears that something is also dissolving, because I'm happy and I'm getting in unity with something.
Well, the idea of unity might come up, but happiness is just another experience.
It's just an experience again.
It's nice, and it's relaxing, and I believe also the chemistry happens in the brain or something. It releases a chemical in the brain. Happiness.
Yeah.
Well, that's just what's happening. It's an experience. But the only problem is that me has the happiness and takes ownership of it. Me owns everything, perhaps, or thinks it does. I am happy, it's my happiness. And of course the other thing about that is that of course it doesn't last.
Yeah. So
have you ever been really happy and thought, this is really nice, but it's not going to last? Didn't you?
This is nice.
I remember that.
It's not. I didn't get it.
Well, surely most people would confirm that their feeling of happiness doesn't last.
Okay.
There's always a feeling that it's nice, but it won't stay here for long.
Yeah.
I remember that it was like that.
Yeah. So when the me collapses.
Oh, there isn't that thing called happiness anymore in that sense. You could say there's a sort of, this just gets a bit dangerous now, but there is a sort of joy, but it isn't anybody's joy, it's sort of joy.
But it's not a joy that you feel.
And it doesn't, no, and it's not a joy that comes and goes. It just is.
It's a stable kind of. The Greeks, they have a word for eudaimonia. That's another word for, they have 3 words for happiness. And one, the stable thing is, I think it's eudaimonia. It means,
There's nobody that's joyful. There isn't anybody that's joyful.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
So it also accepts suffering. It accepts.
Oh well, no. Oh God, no. There is nothing that accepts it. There isn't. You're back to a personal personality or a thing that accepts things. There's nothing. It's got nothing to do with anything.
Okay.
There's no acceptance of anything, and no resistance or rejection either. There isn't any of that stuff going on anymore. That's all over.
It's always the same. I want getting to the same track again.
You want it because you want to know it. You see, the problem we have here is that the me wants to know. It's grown up. It thinks coming to know things, which has made it thinks, it dreams. Knowing has made its life more effective. I know this is a better car than that one, so that's really important to know that. So then when it hears about this sort of thing, it then thinks, oh, I want to know that. So if I could ask Tony if there's something similar to what I'm having, then I can know it. Forget it. Somebody wants the mic right over there.
There is a phenomena of the so-called enlightened people who speak of an experience of bliss.
Yeah.
What do you...
That's all part of the dream. There is no such thing as an enlightened person. And if they start to describe their enlightenment as some sort of bliss, and that's just another experience. It's all in the dream. There isn't anything blissful. There's a whole lot of stuff for sale out there called personal enlightenment, and yet there are people who appear to be enlightened. You know, when they walk on the stage, or they walk very slowly, and it's all beautiful. It's very serene, and they're very loving. And measured. It's what the mind would think enlightenment looks like. I can tell you quite a few who are like that. And everything they do is like enlightened people should be like. They even listen to vegetarian music. So, you know, it's a circus, and there's a lot of it going on. And the other thing that you know, they appear to be very accepting of everything. So you get this idea that, you know, enlightenment is about acceptance and joy and bliss and whatnot. It's a story. There's no such thing as an enlightened person.
About traumas, could it be that some real heavy traumas could prevent the shift?
No, nothing prevents the shift.
Yeah.
Nothing prevents the shift because there isn't a shift.
Yeah, but I mean the holding on to the me.
No, the heavy trauma can be contained in the brain after the whole illusion of there being anybody falls away.
Yes.
But then the brain has the trauma still.
Yes.
Physically it's held in the brain. But in order to maintain that trauma, it needs to speak to an energy in the body called me, which then speaks back to it. So there's an energy circle that goes on, which maintains the trauma. When the trauma is in the brain only, and it can't find anybody to speak to about it, it gets bored.
Far out.
And it falls away.
Thank you very much for that.
Is this a kind of bleaching out then? Like a bleaching out.
Bleaching out. Well, it's what apparently happens. Of course, nothing happens at all.
No, he said that there's a circle of trauma or response, and then it's diminishing or.
Well, but only apparently.
Oh,
it's not real.
And another question: there's the experience that emotions or the expression of emotions becomes sometimes so intense, or there's compulsionary thoughts, all these circles, and then it's totally nothing.
Are we talking about the story now? In the story, emotions can become very powerful, but they just diminish and fall away. There isn't anything any longer that's like that. There aren't those. I will flatten the mountains and raise the valleys.
Is this a kind of
Jesus said. In other words, there's none of that drama. And
is this a kind of agony or?
Right, yeah.
But it's also in the dream then.
Yeah. But there is a huge aliveness, of course. There isn't. It's not like a dead place. The aliveness is huge. It's passionate aliveness, absolutely passionate aliveness for no one. So everything that's happening is intensely singular. So that's what it's like. But you can't describe that. So the need for things like music or you know, previously all the time there's a me, it invests in things that it likes in order to forget that there's a me. And so there's an intense attachment to certain things that falls away. So things like music, art, food, sex, and all those things take their place rather than being very important. Yeah. That's all. There's nobody that does that, but that's what happens.
They were very important before they fall away.
Yeah, because they're an escape. They were an escape. There's nothing to escape now from, because there is just the beloved. So who would want to escape from the beloved? So those things, there's no need to escape into some sort of activity.
Yeah.
Everything is like a kind of music, really. Music is, in a sense, the art form, as far as I'm concerned, that is nearest to this, because it comes and goes. You can't hold on to music, if you think about it. And there's a sort of harmony in it that, even in disharmonious music, there's a sort of harmony in it. It's like this.
After what you just said, Tony, how much then would this apparent shift, have to do with getting more mature, getting more aged?
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all? Oh. Really? In what sense?
Well, in the sense that, first of all, there isn't a shift.
Yeah.
And secondly, it hasn't, the apparent dropping away of separation has nothing to do with anyone.
Okay.
So, somebody more mature or less mature simply isn't relevant.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with the individual. It doesn't happen to be individual. So it doesn't matter what the individual's like.
Okay.
Because the idea of being an individual is completely illusory.
Oh, wow, yeah. Okay, thank you.
And it does help if you've got blue eyes.
So is it also illusory?
Good looking and intelligent, aren't they?
Is it also illusory, like the me is an illusion, that there is an ego or 1,000 egos around the me? This is just a concept, or is it?
Well, it's an illusory energy, but it's an energy that arises, a dualistic energy that seems to arise, and for the individual feels real.
To have an ego, it feels real.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, to describe an ego or to see, okay, this is one of my egos, to be somebody who likes to talk in front of the audience or something. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to...
Nothing matters. No. For me, the ego is some sort of... separation is at the source of individuality, and for me the ego is a sort of colouring of the individual, It's like the ego.
So it doesn't exist now.
Well, it apparently exists for the individual. It's an appearance. So self-consciousness all feeds that feeling of self and how important. We were in an art gallery this morning. What's it called?
It's the only in the Museum Rathaus.
Yeah. And in it there was a screen you could move down, and people, just so you could move it down like a screen on an iPad or something. And I was standing there and I said to Claire, now I'm going to move this, and we went on moving it down. And there was no one on that screen that wasn't self-conscious. You could see it in every face. I'm not saying there might have been somebody in there that wasn't, but every face was self-conscious. It had that sort of like me or something, you know what I mean? It had that sort of message from the self to whoever was looking at it. Amazingly, very powerful.
But then it's an ego, this kind of message.
Well, the ego is part of it. But for me, the ego is like, please love me because look how wonderful I am. More than separation is the source of all of that. Separation is the source of self-consciousness. And then the ego is part of that. It's like a painting.
I have a strong one with this.
You have a strong ego?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you did. No. Some people have stronger than others, but it doesn't make any difference.
But it doesn't, to fight against it, it's without...
Oh no, well, who's going to fight against it?
Okay.
Can you see,
Can you see in the faces, you said, to see if there is an individual or not?
Self-consciousness. It can be seen.
It can be seen. So you would recognize if ego is destroyed here. You would see if someone's
sometimes,
ego,
yeah, I don't look
it's
for
very
it.
nice. You don't have to talk.
No.
Very good. Because there is a teaching. There is a teaching in India, for instance. You have to be confirmed. This process has to be confirmed by some
idiot. Oh, sorry.
Not the contrary.
Yeah, okay.
Freedom has nothing to do with the flow.
Freedom has nothing to do with anything.
Flow.
Flow.
Now, yeah, sometimes.
No.
It's difficult to say in English, but no. Okay, no.
It has nothing to do with anything. It has nothing to do with anything. That's why it's free.
That's why it's free. The only freedom is free from illusion.
Well, yeah, empty fullness is freedom. That's all there is. But within it arises imprisonment.
You talked about music, that it seems a little bit like free,
it's a different sort of. So in context, I was talking about music. This being very similar to music in that you.
Yeah, like the harmony.
It is and it isn't. Yeah. And the harmony.
And why isn't it? It is and it isn't.
Well, it is and it isn't. It's like everything. Everything is and is not. It's like it's real and it's unreal.
Okay. But when there still is a me,
Sorry?
when there still is a me, there's a lot of contraction in everything you do. So you can't do anything.
Well, you don't actually do anything anyway. But there is an experience of being contracted and imprisoned.
Yeah.
And you grow up in a world. You grow up in a world that is imprisoning.
Yeah.
If you grow up in a world, you have to be a certain way or not a certain way. And even if you rebel against the way the world thinks you should be, you're still imprisoned by your own rebellion. Because you're trying to get somewhere called not being in prison.
But sometimes it feels very much in the flow. Everything you do is like...
Well, everything is only, if you like, flow, but not for me. Experience for me is
sometimes there is no me, maybe, and then it's it's like the flow.
Well, you could call it that, yeah, but it's a timeless flow. It doesn't happen in time. But for me, it feels a lot like it isn't flow. Not always. I think that's why, out of all the art forms, music is probably the most popular. Well, it is. People love listening to music because there's something there that speaks to them. There's something. The body responds to music.
But to make music.
Sorry?
To make music, to compose music.
Well, nobody does compose music.
No.
There's no such thing as Mozart.
No, it just happens.
There's a name. It's energy that composes music.
Okay. So I compose music, and when I'm not there, it's just free.
Well, yeah.
But no, it's just free, and when I am there, it's like a very present.
Yeah. But it's really only an experience that you're there. There isn't anyone. It's interesting. The guy that I love watching is Michael Jackson. I don't yet think I've ever seen anybody dance like Michael Jackson dances. Even when he's on the stage and there are other people dancing with him, you watch them. I'm sorry, they're not. There's something about the way he dances. And he said that when he danced, sometimes it was God dancing. And my sense is that he wasn't there. And I think that happens to a lot of, it happens in all sorts of situations, arts, to do with art and music and all that sort of thing, and other ordinary things. Like often you could be doing the washing up at home and you're not doing the washing up. God is. I don't mean God.
We love it.
It's just happening. It's just happening.
What is awareness? Is it also
awareness is a function that keeps the me separate. Awareness is a support of the sense of separation. When the me takes form, when the energy of separation takes form, what comes with it is awareness, self-awareness to begin with. I am aware, I am a self.
Yeah.
And then that awareness of the self is then goes out into the world. I'm aware of myself, I'm aware of the wall, I'm aware of you.
Yeah. It's a concept from the egos?
Sorry?
It's a concept?
No, it's an energetic function. It's an energetic function that happens in the body and keeps the me separate.
Okay.
It's like consciousness. Consciousness also is awareness. It's a form of personal knowing.
Two questions. What do you mean by beloved, and concerned with this also. Is God a mystery or is God a concept?
A contract.
Concept.
Oh, concept. Both. Well, so the beloved is just a word I use that has no connection with anything godlike or divine. It's not meant to be like that. It is something that comes out of here because, in a sense, when the separation, the illusion of separation falls away, there's an in-loveness. Nobody's in love, but there's an in-loveness. So one of the words that I use that gets as near as possible to that is to describe everything as the beloved. And as far as God is concerned, we're back into this idea, the idea that people have about there being a God. Certainly, as far as this is concerned, there isn't a God. If there is a God, that's a dualistic view. In the dream of me, then it would be when separation happens and there's a feeling of having lost something, then the seeker would seek guidance and would tend to be attracted to the idea of receiving guidance from a higher level, and that's how the idea of God takes form. As far as I'm concerned, God didn't make man, man made God. And so you could say there might be a concept about God, but it seems to me that it's more like a feeling that the dreamer or the seeker would have about there being a higher force or a higher level of something which somehow can guide the me and also support the me and forgive the me and love the me and condemn the me and all those things that people think God does. It's all part of the illusion.
And another question is, can you explain how you understand emptiness?
No, I can't.
Because you use this term a lot.
So emptiness is
What
unknown.
do you mean by this?
So, I can't tell you because emptiness refers to unknowing. All there is empty fullness, which is unknowing taking form, and it can't be described. What is emptiness, and what is can't be described. It's a mystery, but as far as the me is concerned. It's unknowing, so unknowing can't be obviously described. And then if it could be described, then it would be known.
Beloved and emptiness is the same.
Well, it's my word, you know.
It's the same.
Yeah, of course. All there is emptiness. All there is the beloved. I suppose for me, somewhere the beloved sort of gets closer to describing empty fullness. This is empty fullness. So it's completely empty, and it's also completely full. So, and that's where the love affair is. But,
between.
Well, nobody's in love. No.
Is the me located somewhere in the body?
There's usually a sense of contraction, which for some reason or other seems to be here, This is the emotional centre, apparently, okay, of the body, and only apparently, this is the emotional centre, and in some way or other, self-awareness arises in the tiny child, and seems to take it, and that contracted energy of there being someone seems to arise here, feeling. And it's obviously also very much in the head, because there are all sorts of ideas about who I am and how it should be. It doesn't matter though.
Thank you.
But the other thing about separation is that it also is a cellular thing, it's energetic. So the cells of the body have a sense of separation which comes and goes, of course. It's like when you're really afraid, really terrified, and the whole body is terrified. It's like that. And very subtly, the sense of contraction is also a bodily thing. It comes and it goes.
I have two questions. Is there a question you don't like to be asked?
I haven't thought of one yet. No.
Okay.
There was somebody who asked me if I was in the audience, what question would I ask? And I said to them, my question would be, how is it possible that somebody so deeply intelligent could also be so good looking? Sorry, I didn't think there is, but it doesn't matter. If there is, so what?
Then I don't have a second question. Just kidding. Second question is, after discovering the illusion of separation, when the energy came back, I think it might came back. How have you dealt with the energy of trying to separate again?
Oh, I see. Okay, so when I walked across the park as a seeker, there was a park I walked across as a seeker, and then there was nothing. No time, there was nothing. And then I walked out of the other side, if you like. I was still there. Okay? And so then there was a sort of memory of that nothingness, or a sense of what it was like. So thereafter I wanted that. So then I thought that I should do something to myself to make that happen. So I did try meditation and all those sort of things, not very well. I was a crap seeker, really. I was no good at anything like that. There's something about it that didn't really convince me. And the only other thing that I tried to do was to be here now. Which is utterly ridiculous. There isn't a now and there's no one to be in it. But I didn't know that. So those are the ways in which I felt that I could bring about that again. It didn't work, by the way.
And have there been also like a hard time for you afterwards?
Sorry?
Have there been like a really hard time?
Hard?
Yes, like
difficult?
Yes, difficult.
No.
Okay.
There have been difficulties, but it has been difficult. But, you know, I haven't had a life that's had huge, great chasms and darkness.
So the energy of separation didn't try to pull you back?
The energy of separation doesn't need to, it's got you already. Although, you know, afterwards there was still a me who was completely embroiled in the dream of separation. It didn't have to drag me back, I was that, or at least that's what it felt like. So there was a definite me there, who now thought he had to do something in order not to be me. It's the same trap that most people fall in. And what we're doing here is exposing the utter futility of that activity.
Thank you.
Thank you. As far as the thing about a question I wouldn't like to be asked is concerned, it wouldn't worry me because I don't answer questions. The response comes out of nothing. There isn't anyone here that responds to it.
Tony, do rocks have a lower level of
consciousness? It's alright, it's a personal joke we have.
So it still wasn't me after the park?
Oh yeah, no, the park was only a glimpse.
Okay.
When the seeker of me comes again to talk, to a meeting of you, of Tony Parsons, could you give him a final shot?
you can't say that even if you get up out of here, you will ever come back, because you could die on the way out of the door. You can't, people, the me tends to think that in some way, oh, this is going to take a long time. Not to be me, but actually it doesn't take any time at all, it's timeless. It isn't anything, you can't say that when we're back in Munich that you will be here, you may not be. You may have the whole illusion of you being anyone. It can easily collapse. I just want to say that you really, that in answer in a way to that question, you can't get this right or wrong. You can't make this happen, because it actually doesn't happen. It's a complete illusion that there's anything that you need to do to make it happen. And what is amazing is that when you walk out of here, it'll be what is. When you go home, it'll be what is. When you try to meditate, that will be what is. When you feel separate or feel there is a me or there isn't a me, it is also what is. What you long for has never left you, it's never gone away or come back. It's constantly all there is. Thank you very much.